visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everybody. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm excited to be leaning in and connecting with all of you as we take time out of this busy season to connect in, pause, breathe, and receive. So I'm very excited to have all of you joining us today. And in case you haven't seen the topic, today we're talking about the grandmother legacies. And this is actually part 2 of a special 4-part series that we're doing in honor of our grandmothers and in honor of our book that will be coming out next week. So I want everyone to mark this date in their calendar, December 5th. We're going to be releasing this powerful book called The Grandmother Legacies, and we're going to offer a special rate on the day of the release. So it'll be only $1. So I'm encouraging everyone to lean into this book. I think as we have our conversation today and you get to know some of our authors, you're going to be inspired and encouraged by what they share today. And I know we'll want to get a copy. And so that's why I want to make sure that you're able to lean into December 5th when we have that special rate, because I know I like a good deal and I want to pass that on to you in honor and celebration of the season and the launch and release of this powerful book called The Grandmother Legacies. And I wanted to connect in for a moment because I don't know if any of you have had a dream, a someday project. Someday I'm going to bring this forward, or I'm going to share this, or I'm going to create that book, or I'm going to do this thing, whatever that is. And this book project, Grandmother Legacies, was one of those for me for a number of years, that someday I want to honor my grandmothers in this way. I want to capture their stories. I want to bring that forward. And I talked about it on stage after stage, interview after interview, ways that my grandmothers had touched my life, had inspired me, and made a profound difference. And people said, oh, you should write that down. You should share that out. And I said, yeah, someday I will do that. And what I found is as I shared those stories, others came forward and they had grandmother stories too. Sometimes as a grandmother themselves, having a story, a legacy, an imprint that they were wanting to leave on somebody's life. Other times, it was an imprint or a legacy that had been passed on to them that they now wanted to pass on. And as more and more people came forward, I had this desire in my heart, planted to create a book and a way for all of us to bring our grandmother stories forward, to bring our legacies forward. And together we could honor many, many grandmothers and touch many, many lives. And that's kind of the background of this book and why it has been so meaningful to me as the compiler, the one that's leading this book project and keeping us on track so that we can bring this book forward. That's really my heart in this, and it's been a dream and a desire for many, many years. And it's such an exciting place to share with you that next week we're releasing this book. We've been working on it in the background with this group of authors for almost a year, bringing together our stories, really sitting with what is the legacy message, what is the wisdom on our heart to both honor our grandmothers and bring forth and share with each of you. And that's the heart and the care and the love that has gone into this just amazing book. I found it so transformational. My heart was touched so deeply and my life was impacted so powerfully as I got to read the chapters as they were coming in and evolving and growing and finding each of their rhythm and place within this book. And it's just an honor to have 4 of the authors joining us today. Last week we had a different group of 4, so I encourage you to listen to last week if you didn't get a chance to yet. And today we're going to talk to this group of 4 amazing authors as they share a little bit about why they leaned into this project, what it's meant to them, and a little bit about their chapter and a piece of wisdom or advice from their heart to yours. I know that you're going to be touched and encouraged by our conversation today. And I want us to take a moment to just pause, breathe, because I want you to get the most out of our time together today that you can, because I believe you are here on purpose and for a purpose, which means there is something for you here in our conversation today. And it's really easy to get distracted and miss what is here for you. And so I want to help support you to get the most out of our time together today, because our time together and connection is such a precious gift to be able to connect in with you in this moment and time. Those of you who are driving, I want you to stay safe, keep eyes open, just inwardly tuning in. For those of you who are able to, though, I encourage you to take a deep breath, close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, both feet on the ground, feeling it support you. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose. Expand your belly, see how big you can make it, and breathe out through your mouth, like through a straw, and keep breathing. This type of breathing will actually help bring you present, lower cortisol and stress levels, and help you receive what is here for you to receive. So take another breath, keep breathing. And in this quiet space, I want you to just pause for a moment and think about what matters to you. What is the legacy? If you had an opportunity to stop, pause, and share a legacy, share a piece of advice, share wisdom, share something that has been perhaps a life lesson or a piece of deep wisdom that has been deeply lived and experienced that you would want to pass on, that you would want to share with others. That if you had an opportunity this holiday season to do that, that you would lean in. What is being placed on your heart to share, to uplift? Sometimes it can be letting someone know how they've touched your life. That can even be a legacy of appreciation and encouragement. So what is it that is on your heart that you would like to make sure another knows, that you would like to pass on, share forward? And what is it that you need to help you do that? What would support you, help you share a legacy forward? I'm going to add one more piece. So we've identified what it is, what you need, and then, and you are willing to receive. Because sometimes we can identify a need, but we're not always ready to receive. So I'm going to invite you to be willing and ready to receive as well. Whatever it is that you need to encourage and empower you to bring that legacy, those messages, those lessons, those imprints that you want to bring forth and share out in the world. Okay, take a deep breath. Receive that information. Come back into the room. fully present, eyes open. And I encourage you to write it down. It is so easy when we step back out into the world and get busy and caught up in all the doing that we do to forget what it is that we want to make sure we share, that we need, and that we're willing to receive. We can forget those things, even if they're right in front of us. So I encourage you to write it down, keep it top of mind, and be actively on the lookout. And the experts that we have joining us today have leaned in to doing that very thing, to sharing legacy messages forward. And in their chapters, towards the end of their chapter, they share how to do that. So if you found you are needing a little encouragement or you're not quite sure how, you're going to get some of that information today and know that we have this powerful book coming out next week that will also support you every step of the way. So let's take a breath together. And I'm going to go around our virtual room as we have just connected in heart to heart, and we've been feeling into legacies and what it is we need today and what's on our heart to share as we go out into the world, to do it in a purposeful way. So I'm going to ask each of our experts today just what was laid on their heart as we connected. So Mary, could I start with you? What was laid on your heart?
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That was so beautiful. Compassion for our stories. All of our life experiences have brought us to where we are today and who we are, and the need to have an open heart to be the gift that we are to the world. It's so important to have compassion for ourselves, because we have a tendency to be there for everybody else and be too hard on ourselves.
Yes, I agree. I love that open heart and compassion for ourselves. So beautiful. Thank you. Sandra, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
I had such reverence for my grandmother. She worked so hard, and she strived for the best, and she always smiled no matter what the hardship was. And as I was growing up, I just really loved her and really acknowledged what she was giving me.
Beautiful. And as you're sharing, Sandra, I can just feel it energetically in your voice, that love and that reverence and just respect and appreciation. It's beautiful. Thank you. Lorraine, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
What came through, I'm sitting in a very bright lit sunny room with bright yellow flowers. So receiving just a lot of the warmth and light that's all around me. And my birthday is coming up this coming Monday. And
happy birthday!
Yeah, thank you. Was to celebrate, and express the celebration. So I think it's synchronistic timing that I'm celebrating my birthday on Monday, and the Grandma Legacy book is coming out on Tuesday. So
beautiful. I love that. So we get to celebrate with you in that powerful way and sharing out. Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing the sunshine and the light and your birthday with us. What a beautiful gift. And we're very glad to have you with us today. And I could, just as I felt Sandra, as she was sharing, listeners, I hope you could feel her light and joy and celebration. Just beautiful. Thank you. And Angela, how about you? I'd love to know what was placed on your heart as we paused and listened for a moment.
Well, bravery was placed on my heart because it takes bravery for us to step into our legacy and to receive the boldness to be your legacy.
Oh, I love that. Braveness and bravery and boldness to be the legacy. What a powerful statement. Thank you for sharing. listeners, we are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And these are actually secretly in disguise 2 minutes for you. So I invite you to resist the urge to run off and cross things off your to-do list. But I invite you to stay present, pause, and breathe, and to remember to be extra kind to yourself. Maybe you could pause and see, how can you be extra kind to yourself and compassionate and celebrate the gift that you are? And maybe step a little bit more into that boldness to be the legacy. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here. Tune in to the Just Jan TV show at justjantvshow.com. Visionary women's leader Jan Jorgensen is inspiring, practical, and visionary. Jan brings us everyday transformational emerging leaders, courageously changing the world by speaking and living their truth. Sit around the table with us for profound feminine wisdom, insights, and connection. Be sure to join us at justjantvshow.com. New episodes are every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time at justjantvshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
For women, the pressure to achieve is stronger, the work hours longer, and the struggle for respect and authority more complex than ever. You want guidance on how to succeed, and you are not alone. You're invited to take your coffee break with Game Changers on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern for our special series, Game Changing Women. Powerful women leaders will help you make sense of it all, analyze how you can change the game, and share their playbooks. Game Changing Women, presented by SAP on the Business Channel.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you. An opportunity to pause, breathe, and be extra kind and supportive to yourself, and exploring a little bit about how to, with bravery and boldness, be that legacy. Because it happens with the choices that we make, what we say yes to, what we say no to, what we purposely lean into. And so we get to create our legacy one decision at a time, one breath at a time. And it can start now and go forward. So I encourage you, as we continue our conversation today, to really think about the legacy, the imprint that you're creating in your life and bringing forward, and the legacy others have shared with you and brought into your life. And you may want to reach out and let them know and thank them. This is a great time of year to do that, because we don't know the impact that we have on others. And I think we underestimate the difference we make by being willing to share the gift of who we are. So I hope today you get an opportunity to dig into that and really think about that and what you're wanting to bring forward. As we opened our discussion today, we were talking about the Grandmother Legacies and a little bit about this book that we have coming out next week that we're very excited about. And I wanted to introduce more formally the authors that we have today and have them share with us a little bit about why this project called to them. Why did they want to be part of the Grandmother Legacies, and to share the title of their chapter. So you just get a little bit of a flavor of who some of our authors are, a little bit of their heart in what they're bringing forward. And I know you're going to be touched, encouraged, and inspired. So the first author I wanted to introduce to you is Lorraine Giordano. And she is an intuitive healer that is shifting the way women connect to down there, a Reiki master, and she is certified in quantum energy transformation and integrated energy therapy. She is one of our fellow radio show hosts here on Voice America on the Health and Wellness channel, and is absolutely passionate about helping women connect to their own healing energy. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Lorraine Giordano. Oh, you're going to have to help me to her show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Oh, I got so excited. You're very welcome. I stumbled there. I got so excited. I'm very glad to have you joining us. And can you pronounce your last name correctly for all to hear clearly?
It is Lorraine Giordano.
Giordano. Yay. welcome. And I'd love for you to share why this project called to you, that you leaned into it and have really powerfully shared your story and your chapter within this book. Why did it call to you? And if you have time or would like to, I'd love for you to share a little bit of what it's meant to you to step into this book and share the legacies in this way.
Yeah. Why I wanted to get involved with this beautiful project is that both my grandmothers were so important to me, but I mainly write about my grandma, Tina, my abuela. She is my mom's mom and is from Panama, and she passed away when she was 92. And she had a beautiful service where the whole family, we got together, and in that honoring her, some people in the family shared stories, and I did not share a story about my grandmother at that point, and that tugged on my heart. She passed away in May of 2015. Mm-hmm. And so when you presented this opportunity, and I came across it, I was like, I have to share a story about my grandmother, because there are so many things I loved about her, but I loved how she shared stories growing up and throughout her whole life. And she was a delicious, amazing cook, and even the stories she shared about cooking. So for me, the Grandmother Legacies book is a way for me to uniquely honor my grandma, Tina, and to share a story about her impact on me, which I truly appreciate. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for compiling these amazing stories.
You are so welcome, and it's been such an honor for me to get to know your grandmother in this way, and some of the legacy that she has left in your life, and just an honor to have you be part of this and honor her in that way. Just really, really beautiful. And I'd love for you to share the title of your chapter, too, if you would like.
Yes, so the title is My Favorite Energy Healer, Grandma Tina.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm just breathing that in. I love it. And I love the descriptions that you've used of her, even in your sharing today. And I hope, listeners, you've just gotten a little bit of a taste and flavor of Grandma Tina. So just beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And Mary Knipple, I wanted to just share a little bit about you. Mary E. Knipple is known as the Writer Unleashed. She is the founder of YourWritingMentor.com, best-selling author, transformational speaker, and she is absolutely passionately committed, and I would say fiercely committed to helping you unleash your story within and bring it forward and share it with the world. So please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Mary E. Knipple to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. It's such a pleasure to be here. And when you were talking about how you had been on stages and in interviews talking about doing this someday, going to be having a book about your grandmother. And when you decided, I'm going to do it, and I leaned in right away and said, I want to play too. Because
yes,
as feisty as your grandmother was, mine was in the background, making sure that everybody was happy and taken care of. So I knew that I wanted to celebrate the extraordinary ordinary, because that is the focus of what I talk about, is that life is in all of those details, that making dinner and getting the laundry done and being there for everyone that loved her. That's what I wanted to celebrate about my Grandma Emma, and that is the passion that I had for the story that I wrote about stirring up love, because she was unconditional love for all of us. And truly an inspirational role model.
I love it. And I can feel your deep love for her that you're sharing with all of us today. And I appreciate your honoring and celebration of her. And I'd love for you to share the official title of your chapter.
So the official title is Stirring Up Love.
Yep. So I want to make sure everyone heard that.
Yes.
Thank you so beautifully wove it into your share. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you. And then we have our amazing Sandra Edwards, who is a certified hand analyst, best-selling author, and she specializes in helping people through transitions. She's absolutely passionate about helping you tap into your guidance and power that's all written within your hands. And so please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Sandra Edwards to the show. Welcome!
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. That's a beautiful introduction.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you joining us today. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of why this project called to you, why you wanted to be part of the Grandmother Legacies. And then we'd love to have your chapter title.
Well, I was always so amazed at my grandmother, at the way she worked. She had her own homestead on the North Dakota plains, and could you just think of anything harder than surviving on the North Dakota plains? And she just made a go of it. She married the homesteader next to hers, and they came together and made a wonderful team, and they just had a wonderful homestead. And it's just the work that they did, and the tribulations, and it was just too amazing to think about how they lived in that time and how they made everything work so well. And it's hard for us to believe now, because we have so much right at our fingertips and take everything for granted. But that was, it wasn't too many years ago that people were doing everything by hand and drawing the water from the well and doing, chopping things to keep them warm, and it's just hard to believe. And I wanted to tell the story before it disappeared. Because not too many people remember that. I remember it. I was close to it, and my mother and had so many wonderful stories, and I knew my grandmother, and I just had to tell the story before it disappeared.
I love that, and you captured it beautifully. What is the chapter title?
Homesteading in North Dakota.
Beautiful. Homesteading in North Dakota or South Dakota?
North Dakota.
North Dakota. Okay, homesteading in North Dakota. And I love how you bring those days and those experiences to life and really let us as readers experience it and kind of walk through some of the journey that they had and the legacy that they have, that your grandmother has really passed on to you and to your family. It's really, really beautiful. So thank you for sharing, Sandra, and for being here today.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
And listeners, we are getting ready to go to another commercial break, and I invite you to just think about some of the sharing that we have shared with you this section and some of those legacies that you perhaps are wanting to make sure people know about, to share some of your history, some of your stories, some of your message or your family's legacy. And making a point and writing it down and making sure to share that with those around you. Believe me, those stories, the way we live our lives, the way past generations have lived their lives really impacts us. And it's a treasure to have those legacies to share. So I encourage you during these next 2 minutes to really take a moment and just pause, think about your legacy stories, and take a couple notes. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Relationship issues? Anxious? Parenting challenges? No more. Learn to live your best life. Tune into Straight Talk with top therapist, relationship, and anxiety expert Sandra Reish. Learn to transform your challenges into effective solutions. Whether it's relationships, parenting, anxiety, or other traps, Sandra will show you how you can live the life of your dreams. Listen live every Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Health and Wellness Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at VAPressPass.com. That's VAPressPass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes. And if you've been tracking all the names, you'll notice we still have one more author that we get to hear from. And so I wanted to make sure she had ample time and wasn't rushed. So it is my honor and privilege to share with you our 4th author that has joined us today, Angela Blaha. She is a consciousness mentor and psychologist, certified coach, transformational teacher, speaker, and author who is absolutely passionate about helping you form a deeper connection to your soul self. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Angela Blaha to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. So good to be here. Aren't our grandmothers just powerful influencers in our lives?
Oh, they are amazing and such a gift to have and to know. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I really wanted to. That's why I wanted to share her with the world. Basically, is because she was so important in my life, and I wanted to share her wisdom, and most importantly, the way that she expressed this unending level of love that was beyond consciousness. It went straight to your soul. And I did that through sharing her words of encouragement to basically live your life to the fullest, the way that she used her intuition, and the way that she lived by her own truth. So she's a very powerful influence in my life.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and honoring and celebrating her in this way. And I just love your description of her, the unending love that you could just feel so deeply. Beautiful.
And the title of my chapter is Wisdom of Life with Grandma Nettie.
I love that. Wisdom of Life with Grandma Nettie. Just beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your heart in this and really celebrating Grandma Nettie in this way and bringing her love and way of loving forward and her deep wisdom. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I wanted to give all of you a little bit of a preview. You've met each of the authors today, the 4 co-authors that we have joining us today, and you've learned a little bit about them and some of their why, why they leaned into this project and some of what it's meant to them. And I've asked each of them to share just a little bit of what you could look forward to in their chapter. And I wanted you to get a little bit of a flavor of what they share. You've heard a little bit of the why, and now I want you to experience a little bit of their deep sharing that they bring forward in this just amazing book. It's so, actually, before I do that, speaking of that, when we're bringing forward books and publishing them, I always like to have some people read it ahead of time and get their response and perhaps even have them write a testimonial if they feel led that we can include in the book, because we're so close to the book and the project and watching it unfold. And the response that we got from our readers was just amazing. And I just wanted to share a couple of them with you today that Denise Hansard shared. Inspiring truth, strength, all of this was found within the Grandmother Legacy. This book captures so beautifully the wisdom of our lineage, the history of our suffering and survival, and the beautiful, strong, empowered women we have become, connected as one, growing together. The beauty of our grandmother's legacies will speak to you, having you share your own stories to be passed down, captured, and continued on as your legacy. And so that was one reviewer. And the first review that we got back, I wanted to share with you as well today. And this is from Carolyn C.J. Jones. And she writes, "From the beginning, these legacies spoke to me. It was not only the courage,
hope, and wisdom of the grandmothers, it was these traits that I saw in each author as well. So co-authors, I want you to hear this too. So she saw that reflected within each of you. Even further, this book led me to contemplate my own grandmothers. I was never close to either because we lived a distance away. I have been given a new lens through which to look due to this book. Truly, I resonated from the beginning with a wisdom like no accidental people on earth. Work hard, love what you do, judge no one, be present and alive every day, and we develop from suffering. These and countless truths and nuggets that appear throughout the book enrich my practice of self-awareness and spirituality. I'm deeply touched and impressed with the level of depth reflected in these pages and believe that Grandmother Legacies will touch the heart and soul of each who reads it. We will become a better world for it. Beautiful work, authors. And authors, I wanted you to hear this. Beautiful work, authors. Thank you each. And listeners, I want you to remember, when we are willing to share our legacy stories, it makes an impact. It touches others' lives. And I want to encourage you, as you're going out in the world, to remember to share your legacy stories, that it really does matter. And we sometimes, I think, keep that wisdom or those stories within. And if we're willing to share them, even one by one, it can make a really positive, powerful impact on the world. So with that perspective, we're going to go around the room, and I'm going to have each of my authors just share a little bit of what you could look forward to if you leaned into this book, just a little taste of what you'll find within these powerful pages. Mary, would you like to start? I'd love for you to share a little bit of what they can look forward to in your chapter.
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to do a little reading.
Beautiful.
Each and every one of us is hungry to be seen and heard. Our fondest desire is to know that another human being acknowledges and respects us as another person living on purpose. Each of us has a distinct purpose in life. The sum of all of our experiences and how we cope with every experience factors into the human being we are now, are becoming, and will become. Every day we have the opportunity to have an impact on ourselves, on the immediate people around us, and the people we don't even know yet how we are influencing.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. Let's just pause for a moment and breathe that in. Beautiful. Thank you. And Sandra, could I have you share just a little bit of something they can look forward to in your beautiful chapter?
Well, I think life on the homestead, that's the piece that you will get from reading my chapter, is life on the homestead. And they found times to be happy as well as work really hard. And I guess that's what I want people to get, that, work hard, love it, be happy.
Beautiful. And I'm just giving us a moment to pause and breathe that in. Great. Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Angela, can you share a little bit of what they might be getting to experience in your beautiful chapter?
So I'll read one little thing from my chapter.
Sure.
Her deep blue eyes, like two oceans on her face, pour right into me, seeing deep into my soul, seeing me in a way no one else ever did. Every time my grandma Nettie looked at me, she looked beyond the surface. She let me know how much she loved me without saying a word. The love I received from her was like anything in the human experience. It was deeper than humanity. She loved me with an intensity that was as powerful as it was unconditioned. She taught me about the power of pure love.
And I'm just pausing for a moment and breathing that in. To be loved on that level, to feel it so deeply, what an amazing gift.
Yeah.
And then, Lorraine, I'd love for you to share a little taste of what we could experience in your chapter.
All right, I'm not going to read something from the chapter, but I will say is that the title, my favorite energy healer. My grandmother was such a tremendous manifester, and she was able to direct her energy to get what she desired, and she came from very humble beginnings. She was orphaned at the age of 2. And so I think readers will... I'm an avid reader of different energy healers, so how her example has impacted me, and how I've seen her example shared with other famous, well-known energy healers. So that's a little flavor of what's in the chapter.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And listeners, I hope you're leaning in and wanting more. We've given you just a taste and a little bit of an experience of some of our authors here today. And I want to encourage you, if this is pulling at your heart and you would like to lean into this amazing book and perhaps even share it as a gift during the season, I wanted you to remember it's next Tuesday, December 5th, is when we'll be releasing the book. And I wanted to go around the room one more time. So again, December 5th. And as we go around the room one more time, I wanted to give our co-authors an opportunity to share just a piece of advice, something as you're going back out into the world, or perhaps thinking about the legacy you're wanting to bring forward and leave behind, or share a legacy that has been passed on to you, what advice they can give you from their heart to yours. So with that, Sandra, do you have a piece of advice or wisdom that you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're speaking to me.
That's okay. I am.
Well, I think I kind of said it before, really work hard and enjoy life and just be present. Stay present.
Work hard, enjoy life, and stay present. Really beautiful advice, especially during this holiday season that can get so hectic and busy, that finding joy and staying present is so important. Beautiful. Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Lorraine, what is on your heart that you'd like to share with our listeners and encourage them in?
I think right now, collectively and individually, we're going through a shift of balancing masculine energy with feminine energy. If you put on the TV, there's story after story of this going on. So I do think that this book, The Grandmother Legacies, comes at such an important supportive time to really access and tap into and embrace the wisdom that our grandmothers have shared with us. So I think it's at a perfect time. Because there's so much love and inspiration and strength and wisdom from our grandmothers. That's important to kind of embrace that in order to ripple that out forward.
Yes. Just as you're sharing that, I just feel myself leaning forward and responding. Absolutely, that it's not an accident, the timing of this. And I believe there is great purpose and need in what all of you have captured and shared within this book, and that it really is for such a time as this. Thank you for touching in on the times that we're in and how important that balancing is, and that this could be a powerful part of that. Thank you. And Mary, I would love for you to share.
I believe that the legacy of our grandmothers, as well as our own legacy, is of love and faith and compassion. And all of our stories are individual threads woven together into the universal story, because our stories matter, our voices matter.
Yes.
And I am so proud to be a part of this individual compiling of stories to be shared with the world. Thank you.
You are welcome, and I thank you for leaning in and being part of this. And what an important reminder that each of us is a thread that gets to be woven into this tapestry. And we have an opportunity and I believe a responsibility to share our messages, to share our stories, that they really are needed for such a time as this, that it really does matter. Our voice, our story, and our message. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Angela, I would love for you to share a piece of advice, something that is on your heart to share with our listeners today.
My advice is to live life to the fullest and deepest that you possibly can, because you deserve to live. You deserve to be your legacy, and that's really the purpose that we're here. So, yeah, live. And thank you, Rebecca, for compiling this. It's been amazing, bringing our grandmothers to light.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a joy and an honor to have each of you lean in and be part of this, and to get to experience your grandmothers and their wisdom and their courage and their love in practical and profound ways. It's just been such a rich journey. I appreciate each of you being on the show today and sharing from your hearts with myself and our listeners. Listeners, I hope that you have received something that serves you today, something that you can take forth, that reminder to live, to find joy, be present, that really honoring who you are, giving yourself grace and love, and to remember you are the legacy. You get to make those choices every single day that become the imprint, that become that message that you are bringing to the world and sharing with the world. And I want to encourage you to do it with great purpose and on purpose, because it matters. And there's no one else just like you. You are an amazing gift to the world. And I want to encourage you to take some time today, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and to pause and breathe just like we did during those commercial breaks, and take a moment to find something to celebrate, to share a legacy message with someone. Perhaps reach out to somebody that has touched your life and let them know, and purposely start a legacy of your own that you are wanting to bring forward. I encourage you to spend time on that today, real time. And we would love for you to lean into the book as we release it next week on December 5th. But most importantly, as you go back out in the world, I want you to remember the gift that you are, that you are willing to lean into who you are and all that you are becoming, and willing to share just a little bit more of who you are with the world. That wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.